No contact is one of the most misunderstood dynamics in modern dating. Most men think it works because absence creates panic or guilt. That's not why women come back. Women don't return because they miss texts. They come back because something shifts internally when a man stops chasing, explaining, and trying to manage the connection. When a man goes silent in a calm, grounded way, it removes emotional noise. There are no reminders, no pressure, no attempts to control outcomes. That silence forces reflection. And reflection is where a woman reconnects with how she actually felt when the man was present. Not what he said, not what he promised, how he made her feel. Most men ruin this process by using no contact as a tactic while staying emotionally attached. They watch their phone. They wait for validation. That energy leaks even in silence. True no contact works only when a man emotionally detaches and redirects his focus back to his own life. When that happens, the dynamic reverses. The woman is no longer reacting to his presence. She's reacting to his absence. And absence does something powerful when it's backed by strength. It highlights emotional contrast. It restores curiosity. It brings back respect. This video is not about manipulation or games. It's about understanding why distance works when it's real and why it fails when it's forced. Women don't come back to men who disappear out of fear. They come back to men who leave with self-respect. If you've ever wondered why a woman suddenly reappears after silence, it's not random. There are clear psychological shifts happening. Once you understand them, you'll stop chasing closure and start becoming the kind of man women return to on their own. 1. Emotional pressure disappears. The first reason women come back after no contact is simple. Emotional pressure disappears. When a man stops reaching out, explaining himself, or trying to fix things, the emotional weight of the connection lifts. Women feel this immediately. Pressure, even when subtle, creates resistance. When that pressure is gone, resistance fades. Many men don't realize how much pressure they create by trying to be clear, be consistent, or show effort. Repeated check-ins, emotional discussions, and reassurance requests may feel sincere, but they place a burden on a woman's emotional space. She begins to feel responsible for how the man feels. That responsibility pushes her away. No contact removes that responsibility. Suddenly, she is no longer managing his expectations or emotions. Her nervous system relaxes, and when a woman relaxes, she becomes more open to reflection. She starts thinking about the connection without the weight of having to respond. This is when memory shifts. Instead of focusing on what annoyed her, she remembers how she felt when things were good. The calm, the laughter, the presence. Emotional pressure had masked those feelings. Silence clears the fog. Men often think women miss words. They miss feelings. No contact brings those feelings back to the surface. When the man is no longer trying to influence her emotionally, she feels free to experience her emotions honestly. That honesty is what pulls her back. This is why chasing almost always backfires. Each attempt to re-engage reinforces pressure. Each explanation adds weight. Each emotional message reminds her why she needed space. Silence does the opposite. It creates relief. Relief creates openness. A man who handles no contact correctly is not waiting. He is rebuilding his rhythm. He is focused on his life, not on outcomes. That internal shift changes the energy of the connection, even without communication. Women are extremely sensitive to emotional states, not just actions. When pressure disappears, curiosity replaces resistance. She starts wondering how he's doing, why he hasn't reached out, what changed. Those questions signal the beginning of emotional return. Women don't come back because they are chased. They come back because they feel free. And freedom begins when emotional pressure ends. 2. Respect is restored. The second reason women come back after no contact is that respect is restored. Attraction cannot survive without respect. Many men lose it without realizing how. Over-explaining, over-pursuing, and over-accommodating slowly erode a woman's perception of a man's self-worth. She may still care, but attraction weakens. No contact reverses this dynamic when it's done correctly. When a man stops chasing and stands still, he communicates self-respect without saying a word. He shows that he is not willing to beg, convince, or negotiate for attention. That quiet boundary changes how a woman sees him. Respect grows when a woman realizes the man did not collapse emotionally after distance. He did not spiral. He did not plead. He did not stay stuck. Instead, he continued living. That stability reframes him in her mind. She begins to see him as grounded rather than needy. This shift often surprises women. They expect emotional pursuit. When it doesn't come, curiosity replaces certainty. She starts questioning her assumptions about his availability and tolerance. That uncertainty creates renewed interest. Respect also returns because no contact removes emotional imbalance. When one person is chasing and the other is pulling away, attraction fades. Silence resets the scale. Emotional energy equalizes. The man is no longer below her emotionally. That equality is attractive. Women are drawn to men who can walk away with dignity. It signals strength, not aggression, not ego. Strength through self-control. When a woman senses that a man values himself enough to step back, she reassesses his value. No contact also prevents further damage. Every extra message, explanation, or emotional appeal lowers respect incrementally. Silence stops the bleeding. It preserves what remains and allows space for repair. When respect returns, memory softens. She becomes less focused on his mistakes and more aware of his presence. She remembers his confidence, his calm, his standards. Those traits resurface when they are no longer diluted by neediness. Women don't come back to men they don't respect. No contact works because it quietly rebuilds that respect. Not through words, through restraint. 3. Curiosity is reignited. The third reason women come back after no contact is that curiosity is reignited. When a man stops reaching out, explaining, and managing the connection, a natural sense of curiosity develops. Women begin to wonder what he's doing, how he's feeling, and what his life looks like without them. This curiosity drives reflection, emotional engagement, and ultimately, pursuit. Most men underestimate the power of curiosity. They believe visibility equals value. They overexpose themselves through constant texting, calling, or posting updates. That overexposure leaves nothing to wonder about. Everything is predictable, and predictability kills intrigue. When a man disappears, the unknown creates mental space for her to fill. She starts imagining, wondering, and sometimes idealizing. Curiosity is especially strong when combined with previous emotional investment. She has already experienced his presence, warmth, and energy. When he disappears, her mind wants to reconnect the dots. She remembers moments, laughter, and conversations. The absence of explanation makes those memories more vivid. Her brain starts working to understand him again. No contact also highlights his independence. A woman notices when a man continues to live fully without her attention. She perceives purpose, focus, and self-sufficiency. These qualities are inherently attractive and trigger questions. What is he up to? Why hasn't he contacted me? Is he happier without me? That internal questioning naturally leads her back toward engagement. Curiosity is a subtle form of pursuit. It does not involve conscious effort. She does not send messages because she is pressured. She sends them because her mind and emotions are activated. That activation feels self-driven, which strengthens her attraction. Many men fail because they interpret curiosity as indifference. They think she will forget or move on. In reality, Absence combined with prior emotional impact creates anticipation. The more meaningful the interactions before no contact, the stronger her curiosity during it. Curiosity also stimulates reflection. She compares his absence with her emotional expectations. She notices what she misses, which often includes his energy, confidence, and calm presence. That reflection can create longing stronger than constant interaction ever could. Ultimately, no contact works because it leverages a woman's natural curiosity. It's not manipulation. It's the strategic removal of emotional noise that allows her own mind to assess and remember his value. This self-driven curiosity is what leads women back, often more interested than before. 4. The value of absence. The fourth reason women come back after no contact is the value of absence. Simply put, absence makes presence noticeable. Most men underestimate how much their constant attention dulls perceived value. When a man is always there, emotionally or physically, his presence becomes taken for granted. Silence restores that value instantly. When a man disappears without chasing, he creates mental space for her to reflect. She begins to notice the little things: his energy, his humor, his perspective, and the way he made her feel. The moments she once overlooked suddenly stand out. Absence transforms ordinary memories into something meaningful. The psychology is simple. Humans assign greater importance to what is scarce. When attention is abundant, it loses impact. When attention is limited, it becomes earned, desired, and memorable. A man who is absent, but not distant emotionally, repositions himself as valuable without saying a single word. Absence also creates emotional contrast. Before no contact, interactions may have been routine, predictable, or even emotionally heavy. Silence breaks that pattern. When he returns, interactions feel novel, exciting, and high in emotional energy. She is reminded of why she was drawn to him in the first place. That contrast amplifies attraction. Many men make the mistake of using absence as punishment or a manipulative tool. That never works. The absence must be rooted in self-focus, not control. It's about redirecting energy toward your life, goals, and self-development, not creating jealousy or insecurity. Authentic absence is magnetic. Manipulative absence repels. Absence also gives her time to process her own feelings. Without your constant input, she evaluates the relationship or connection on her own terms. She begins to consider what she values about you and what she misses. That self-reflection often leads to renewed interest. Ultimately, the value of absence is about perspective. You are no longer background noise. Your presence becomes memorable. Your attention becomes rewarding, and your absence becomes something she feels keenly. Women do not come back to men who remain constantly accessible. They come back to men whose presence is worth missing. No contact leverages absence naturally, allowing women to rediscover your value without pressure, manipulation, or explanation. It creates a pull that is emotional, subconscious, and undeniable. 5. She feels your independence. The fifth reason women come back after no contact is that she feels your independence. Independence is magnetic because it communicates self-sufficiency, strength, and control over your own life. When a man steps back and focuses on himself, it signals that he is not dependent on her approval or attention, and that energy is incredibly attractive. Most men fail to understand how visible their dependency is. Constant messages, attempts to meet emotional needs, and over-engagement unconsciously signal that their happiness depends on her response. That neediness diminishes attraction. Women naturally sense this and pull back. Independence flips that dynamic completely. By practicing no contact authentically, a man demonstrates that his life is full without her. He continues his routines, goals, and social connections. He invests in himself instead of monitoring her behavior. That visible self-focus communicates emotional stability. It signals that she is a part of his life, not the center of it, and women are drawn to men who maintain that boundary. Independence also creates emotional challenge. When she sees you living fully without chasing, she begins to wonder what your life looks like and how it feels to be part of it. That curiosity triggers mental engagement. She starts reflecting on past interactions, remembering why she was attracted, and evaluating the connection in a new light. Independence is not arrogance. It is not coldness or dismissiveness. It is calm, grounded self-possession. Women feel the difference immediately. A man who is independent is safe emotionally, but unavailable in the sense that he does not need to be pursued or validated constantly. That energy inspires pursuit naturally. No contact combined with independence also allows women to take initiative. When a man is fully self-contained, she steps up voluntarily. She reaches out, engages, and seeks connection on her own terms. That behavior is more powerful than chasing because it is self-driven rather than prompted by pressure. Independence communicates value silently. Women subconsciously register that you have options, direction, and purpose. That awareness reignites attraction and desire. The return of interest is rarely about the silence itself. It is about the man she realizes exists beyond that silence. Ultimately, independence is the foundation that allows all other elements of no contact to work. Emotional pressure disappears, respect is restored, curiosity is reignited, absence gains value, and pursuit begins, all because she senses a man who is complete, self-reliant, and unshaken by distance. Women come back to men who are centered in themselves, not to men who are constantly available. 6. Reflection on her feelings. The sixth reason women come back after no contact is that she begins reflecting on her own feelings. Distance removes distractions and external pressure, allowing her to process emotions clearly. Without constant messages, explanations, or chasing, she is free to evaluate what she misses, what she values, and how she truly feels about the connection. Most men underestimate the power of reflection. When they over-communicate, they fill her mind with their own emotions, concerns, and expectations. That overload prevents her from accessing her own feelings. She reacts instead of reflecting. No contact removes this clutter and creates mental space for introspection. Reflection often triggers realization. She starts noticing your qualities, the emotional highs you created, and the stability you represented. She recalls your confidence, independence, and the way you made her feel safe, yet intrigued. That awareness grows naturally without any prompt from you. This process also amplifies longing. As she considers what she misses, the absence of attention becomes emotionally meaningful. She feels subtle, emotional tension, curiosity, and even desire, all internally generated rather than imposed externally. Women respond more strongly to emotions they uncover themselves than to emotions suggested or demanded by someone else. No contact also highlights the contrast between presence and absence. She remembers the positive interactions and compares them to the quiet she now experiences. That contrast intensifies emotional awareness, making her more likely to pursue. Reflection is further enhanced when a man maintains independence during no contact. She observes that his life continues, that he is focused on himself, and that he is not waiting or desperate. This observation deepens her understanding of his value and strengthens her emotional response. Many men fail because they try to force reflection through messages, calls, or emotional appeals. That approach backfires because it prevents genuine self-assessment. True reflection occurs when a man steps back and allows her mind and heart to work naturally. Ultimately, reflection during no contact leads to clarity, emotional re-engagement, and renewed attraction. Women come back because they have processed their emotions and recognized the man's value, not because he pressured them into missing him. By stepping away, you create the space for her to reconnect with her feelings, and that reconnection is far stronger than any forced attempt at attention. 7. She realizes your value. The seventh reason women come back after no contact is that she realizes your value. When a man steps back and disengages without panic, the space he leaves allows her to assess what she truly had. Value is not about material things or grand gestures. It's about emotional presence, stability, confidence, and the way you made her feel. Absence highlights all of these traits. Most men underestimate how easily their worth is taken for granted. Constant attention, effort, and availability can make a man appear ordinary, even if he is exceptional. When that presence is temporarily removed, she begins to notice what was unique about him. The qualities she overlooked or assumed are now clear. No contact creates perspective. She reflects on past interactions, remembering moments when he was strong, calm, and emotionally grounded. She notices his independence, his restraint, and his self-respect. She realizes the energy he brought into her life, the way he made her feel seen without needing to be told she mattered. Those reflections reinforce his value. This realization is further amplified by the contrast between him and other men. When she interacts with others or observes them from a distance, she sees that most men lack the confidence, emotional stability, and self-sufficiency he displayed effortlessly. She compares and begins to appreciate him more deeply. The process also triggers emotional desire. Realizing his value makes her want to experience it again. She remembers why she was drawn to him and starts considering how reconnecting could feel. This is not manipulation. It's a natural consequence of clarity, reflection, and emotional contrast. Women often return quietly at first, testing boundaries, seeking interaction, or re-establishing emotional connection. Their pursuit is genuine because it comes from recognition, not coercion. They are drawn by the man he is, not by guilt, pressure, or obligation. A man who handles no contact properly does not rush this process. He does not over-explain, over-apologize, or push for reconciliation. He maintains his focus on his life, letting her recognize his value on her own terms. That patience enhances the effect because it mirrors the independence and self-respect she now sees clearly. Ultimately, women come back after no contact because absence allows them to recognize what is rare and valuable. It is not about punishing, manipulating, or creating insecurity. It is about creating space, fostering reflection, and allowing the man's true qualities to shine. When she realizes your value, pursuit becomes inevitable, natural, and lasting. This is why no contact works, not because women panic, but because they see clearly what they were missing and are drawn back to it. Women come back after no contact, not because of tricks or manipulation, but because absence triggers clarity. When a man steps back, emotional pressure disappears, respect is restored, curiosity is reignited, absence gains value, independence becomes visible, reflection happens, and her recognition of his true worth grows. These 7 dynamics work together to create a natural pull that brings her back. Most men fail because they misunderstand no contact. They wait anxiously, check their phones, and overanalyze every action. That energy leaks even in silence and prevents the process from working. True, no contact is rooted in self-focus, emotional composure, and independence. It's about living fully, not punishing or testing her. Women are highly sensitive to emotional energy. They respond not to words, but to presence and absence, stability and movement, engagement and restraint. When a man embodies these qualities while stepping back, he creates contrast, intrigue, and desire. She begins to miss him naturally and re-engages on her own terms. No contact is effective because it shifts the dynamic. She moves from being in control to reflecting on her feelings and recognizing value. She is no longer reacting to pressure or chasing outcomes. She is responding to a man who is complete, self-reliant, and emotionally grounded. The key takeaway is simple. Women come back when they feel space, respect, and genuine value. Silence is not emptiness, it is opportunity. By stepping back and focusing on yourself, you allow her to see what she may have overlooked, remember why she was drawn to you, and feel the pull to return. The process is natural, lasting, and powerful when done with confidence, patience, and authenticity.